Hey fam, so I am back with yet another video, and it is always exciting for me to stand in front of you and discuss nutrition, and then right after that go to the comments to see what you are saying about the video. And so today I want to react to certain things that you have said over the past video. I think the last video I did had to do with hypertension, and a number of you that said, look, hypertension is not due to salt, it is due to sugar instead. Some people actually said sodium has never been the problem. So I thought, that's a big statement. Sodium has never been the problem. I think it's too bold a statement to say. And also that we look at nutrition in silos, and I will not tire. I think that is the reason why I decided to do this platform. And even when I was thinking about what to call this platform, I thought if I say what to eat, people think there's good and bad. And when you say nutrition, people think it's, I don't know, some government program or something. But I think what's more important is way to eat, the way in which to eat or how we should be eating. But unfortunately, at least from the comments I get, and also the videos that a number of you have shared, and I have receipts for that. There's been a number of videos circulating saying sodium has never been the problem. The problem is sugar. People are consuming a lot of added sugar and refined foods, refined starches and carbohydrates, and so on and so forth. But then when you really think about it, nutrition has to do with balance. And that is the topic for today. I really want it to be engraved in our minds that nutrition has nothing to do with what is good or what is bad, but it has to do with balance. The only thing I have said on this platform that I have totally excluded, and I don't even like to call it food, is anything that is ultra processed. Ultra processed meaning food that is not even recognizable. Stuff like bologna. That is not food. Cold meats, the salamis and the whatever you call them. For me, that is not real food because they have added all kinds of chemicals to it. They've changed the structure. They've changed everything. All it is just something that tantalizes your taste buds. But in terms of nutrition or nourishing your body, it does very little to nothing. In fact, it causes more harm than good. And so those are the foods that I would totally exclude. Anything that is man-made. Actually, there is a statement someone said, I don't know who, that if nature didn't make it, don't take it. And I believe that is true because food should be natural in its natural state. But when we start adding all these things to the food, it becomes a problem. And I think on World Egg Day, I also released a video where I was saying we need to start consuming eggs because of the many benefits that it has and so forth. And someone said, no, but eggs contain a chemical that increases fibroids and whatnot. It could be true, but it is not that it is formed in the egg. It is what man has done to the egg in the process of breeding that has caused that egg to have that chemical. And so you're now not going to say that egg is bad. In the same way, I'm not going to say meat is bad simply because someone decided to take that meat, grind it, add soya to it, and add nitrites and nitrates to it, and flavorants and colorants and whatnot, and then dish it to you. And then now you say, no, sausages are bad, meat is bad because of nitrates, it's causing cancer, it's causing this. No, it's what we have done to the food which is bad. So, okay, coming back to the topic of sodium and really just looking at nutrition as a whole, I think it's important that we do not have this black and white way of thinking when it comes to nutrition. Because, when someone says it is sugar and it is not sodium, like, from a nutrition perspective, I'm like, how is that possible? Because let me explain it this way. When you go to do your blood work, we assess nutrition in different ways, not only nutrition, but even your health status. Now, on that report, it's not just your values that are written. There's also a range. So you'll be told, for example, your sodium levels are so much, but then the range that is considered normal is this to that. So based on whether it is below that lower range or above the upper range, then the medical personnel makes that decision to say, okay, you need to increase more on this or reduce more on that, and things like that. So all that is to let you know that it is all about balance. right? So for someone to boldly say the problem has never been salt when it comes to hypertension, the problem is sugar. So go ahead and take salt as much as you want. I'm like, no. And this is someone dressed in a lab coat. And that's what hurts me. This is someone dressed in a lab coat. Everybody believes he's a doctor. And so it's very easy to believe such a person than me who is dressed like an ordinary person. One thing I want you to remember, everything to do with nutrition, I am not going to talk about other fields, but anything to do with nutrition has to do with balance. So let not someone tell you that you can do away with eating excess salt, but just control your sugar. Or you can do away with controlling, or rather taking excess sugar, as long as you exercise. You can do away. No, you need to have all these things in balance. In the past, we used to say balanced diet, but not anymore, because it was very confusing. When you say balanced diet, is it that you have to put the vegetables on a scale? No, no, no. It really talks about the nutrient balance. So for you to achieve that balance, there is need for you to eat a variety of foods. If you exercise enough, you will achieve that balance. And that is why even in our training as nutritionists and dietitians, we have what we call dietary reference intakes. So these are basically just values from research, years and years of research on all the different continents of the world, that have shown, okay, what is the normal range? Of course, we have what we call recommended daily allowances. We have estimated average requirements. We have adequate intake. So it's a group of standards or references that we use for different purposes. And the most common is the recommended daily allowances. So we know that a human being who is this age needs to consume so much sodium. A human being, a female, when pregnant or when breastfeeding, should be within this range. And so then that is what we use as a benchmark. Now, balance can be different for all of us. And so that is why consulting a dietitian or a nutritionist for you becomes advantageous, so that you know, okay, based on my condition, this is what balance means. So it would mean maybe excluding certain foods, at least for a while, until a problem is resolved. Or it could be increasing sodium. Like a number of you have also said, I have low blood pressure. And so I have said the opposite, actually, to say, can you increase your sodium intake? So it was not a video to demonize sodium. Sodium has a number of great benefits it does to the body. Muscle contraction requires sodium. The way I'm moving my muscles freely, painlessly, is there such a word? I don't know, but freely, really, without feeling any pain or restrictions. It's because the sodium is acting, of course, with other nutrients, but it is a great contributing factor to my muscle movement. I'll give an example of when, you see marathon runners, our athletes, even footballers, they are on the field running for hours. And then after some time, they develop what we call a cramp, right? Like muscle pull. And it is so painful. I have seen grown men, buff and very strong, crying because of a muscle pull. And so that is a sign, or could be a sign, of sodium deficiency, because as you are running, you are sweating a lot. And when you sweat, and sometimes you even see salt after you've cooled down, you actually see salt on your skin. I sometimes get it on my forehead. After I've sweated a lot and then I cool off, you rub your forehead and you can feel salt on your forehead. That is sodium that you are releasing from the body. And so when you release too much sodium, it can result in cramps when you continue with the exercise. So all that's why sodium is very important in the body. But also because it regulates your blood pressure. So helps to retain water. When the blood pressure drops, the sodium in the body says, no, can we now keep the water? So you urinate less, you sweat less, so that the body retains water to up your blood pressure again. And when it is again too much, it is excreted. And so that is what it does to maintain all that, among a number of other functions. So really, it was not for me to say sodium is not good, but the excess does cause hypertension, whether you believe me or not. Because in excess, what you're now telling the body is, okay, well, especially if it's in a situation where it cannot be excreted, water continues being retained. The blood vessels are constricted. and also coupled with a number of other hormonal challenges or problems that may result due to being obese, due to your alcohol intake, due to high sugar levels, and so forth, it can actually result in those blood vessels being constricted and resulting in blood pressure shooting. I think this is an important topic because we ignore hypertension a lot in this country, but people are suffering increasingly. I know according to the STEP survey, we are saying 20% roundabout of Zambians are hypertensive, but these are reported cases. What about those cases that are not reported, where someone just collapses? I'll give an example of my situation. I go for antenatal visits monthly, and I get to the clinic. Each time I would check my colleagues, out of maybe say 10 of us, at least 2 or 3 will have high blood pressure. And the nurses would take that reading, or they are reading even 3-4 times just to confirm. And you'll find it's 160 over 130, 190 over 140. And you're like, wow. And this is someone who is only like 5-6 months pregnant. When blood pressure shoots beyond a certain limit while you're pregnant, unfortunately, the baby has to, it's a matter of choice. Is it the baby or is it the mother? And in most cases, the baby cannot survive when the mother's blood pressure is like that. So it's either they both die or you save the mother. You see? So, and I know, the medical staff are taught to save lives. So if you can at least save one life, you're better off saving that one life and forfeiting the other instead of having both die. Because it's not like you can even save the child and get rid of the mother. Because try to put a 4-5-month-old in an incubator, it takes an army to make sure that that baby is sustained. And so that in itself is an added cost. You have to spend months in hospital to ensure that the premature baby grows well. And so usually they opt to save the mother. So now how many women would, sustain a pregnancy up to 5, 6, 7 months only to be told your blood pressure is way off the roof? No diabetes, by the way. It's just the blood pressure. But when you find out what they actually eat, you see people snacking on ultra-processed stuff, tumajigizi, tumachanyi, tumachanchani, these toy foods. Let's call them toy foods. If it's not that, it is the Hungarian sausages that we like to eat that are loaded with salt. Pie, sweet here. I don't know. I know we do have cravings, but I think it's important to build our nutrition knowledge so that when those cravings come, we make better choices. There are a number of other food sources that you can use. I know that sometimes the mouth gets metallic during pregnancy. It is a horrible, horrible taste. And I totally understand because I've been through it, where you're like, I need to put something in my mouth for this to go away. And oftentimes for us women, it is anything salty. And sometimes even non-food, like, the sand. Research says it could be iron deficiency that pushes women to eat sand, but hey, rather up your iron levels than go for sand. And that is why nutrition education is very, very important for all of us. So really my message today is when you think nutrition, think balance.
When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem.
When you think diet, think balance or moderation. It's about having everything within certain parameters, not exceeding. A good example is, unfortunately, this is an unfortunate situation that happened recently where a woman passed away. I think she was a food enthusiast, an activist for, these vegan diets. And she passed away because of just a diet on fruit and vegetables. Every day, that's all she ate. And she documented herself eating that, and she was encouraging the general public, her followers, to be eating the vegan way, where absolutely nothing to do with animals, not even gelatin. That jelly that we use to make jelly, it comes from the hooves of cows, actually. So there are those strict vegans who do not even add anything animal. They do not want anything animal in their diet. Those are strict vegans. And so, is it really what we want? Again, it's about balance. Someone and a few people actually who have come in the comments and say, so what are you saying, Berida? So we should only be vegetarian. So we should not be. I'm like, no, I did not say that. Sometimes you see the caption and you're very quick to respond without really watching the full video. Watch the full video and then you can comment. And there are a number of other people that are sprouting around. And most of these things are what we call clickbait. You find that that's not even what the person said in full, but because everybody wants that, what do you call them, the likes and the so forth. And so they'll put a caption that is very captivating so that, you click on it. But oftentimes we don't. We just scroll along. And so when you check, sodium has never been a problem when it comes to hypertension, you just scroll, right? And so, but the message is already there because it was used as clickbait, because everybody knows sodium does contribute to hypertension. But unfortunately, you seeing that, you're like, oh, there we go. It's not sodium that's the problem. And you move along. Like I've explained and I'll continue to explain until we have it engraved, because I want the Zambian population to be well educated when it comes to nutrition, that nobody can come along, no food manufacturer can lie to you that this food is better than this, that this is, you have to ask how. So please, if you have examples of people I think people need to hear it. Such stories is what really strengthens people and strengthens such messages. So if you know of someone who was strict on a certain diet, but unfortunately it backfired, let us share, let us discuss what could have happened, so that the public learns. Especially now with social media, we don't show our struggles on social media. Everybody wants to show their good side. And so I can come here and tell you, I'm a vegan, I'm this, I'm that, I managed to lose weight on just, soup yambuzi and whatever. And then you believe that's not even the true story. And then you go ahead and do that and it backfires. So with social media, everybody's free to grab a phone and do whatever they want. Quite all right, it's good, but it can also have its negative effects, which I really want for us to be aware of. And looking at the fact that we are also celebrating our 61st birthday as Zambia, I thought about it and I said, wait, the Zambian flag actually does help us or teach us to eat well. If you think about it, the green. So meaning most of what we eat, 3/4 of the food we eat should be vegetables. And then a bit of red, a bit of black, a bit of orange, a bit of gold from our bird. And I thought, yeah, that's good nutrition. And so I hope that, you can actually think of the Zambian flag and also think of how or the way that you should be eating. And so with that said, thank you so much and happy 61st Independence Day, Zambia.